Hey, good morning, everybody. Ty Garner here, and it's day 14 with Husband After God. No, really, I'm just kidding. It's actually day 13. I wanted to skip day 13, but it's one that's real near and dear to my heart, and I think for a lot of men, it's something that we have issues with. It's pride. I know for me personally, I can look back over the last 10 years of my life, of my marriage, and pride has been the number one reason that we've had issues, we've had conflicts, or haven't had resolution. And pride, I think, is for men comes in a lot of different forms, but it's ego. The big thing for me is not wanting to apologize. Because I think I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm always right. As men, we know we're always right, and so, really, it's God hates it. God hates pride. Proverbs 16:5 says, "Everyone who is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord." I know I don't want to be an abomination to the Lord. And if you want to have a successful marriage, I can tell you that pride isn't going to work. Pride keeps you from being humble. And, like I said, pride keeps you from, saying you're sorry. Pride keeps you from forgiving when you've been hurt. And you just, there's no humility anywhere associated with pride. And I think one of the biggest things that we have to do in marriage as men is just humble ourselves for our spouses. And I think that, for the issue lies in just us thinking that we're right all the time. And the funny thing is that it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. We talked about this a little bit, that I think it's about being one together, and it's not who's right, who's wrong. It's just being one. Having that oneness, and that you cannot have a oneness. You cannot be intimate with your spouse if there's pride in there. So whether you're right or wrong, don't try to figure that out. Just come together and say, "Hey, look, let's make this work." One thing I can tell you, men, is don't say, "Baby, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry." That doesn't work. Just figure out a way to craft it. Even if you really don't think you're wrong, just figure out a way to craft it to where you don't make her think you're lowering her. Just say, "Look, we need to work this out. Let's figure out how we can make this better." It's better than saying, I promise, it's better than saying, "Hey, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry." But two, when you go to your spouse, you have to be sincere. There's got to be sincerity in your voice. If you say, "Oh, I'm sorry," obviously she's not going to think that's real. "I'm sorry." You got to go with a sincere heart and almost say, "Look, baby, I'm sorry. I really, we've got to work this out. We can make this work. I want us to have intimacy together. I want us to be one, and that's what the Lord wants for our marriage." So I challenge you today to be humble and let go of that pride in your life. And I think that it will draw you closer to your spouse, and it will draw you closer to God. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.